Coach, thoughts on day one?
Just excited to get out here. We've had a great off season. Guys are bigger, faster than we've ever been. I think we're in amazing shape, and the guys were just excited to get out here and practice, so they were bouncing around.
It's like Brayden might have had his finger. Did he hit it on a helmet maybe?
Yeah, the last week, the last workout before we finished summer, he chipped his finger, and he'll be okay. It's not serious, but we just want to be smart with him this week.
Coach, what are camp theme for you? Like, what's most important for you guys to get done between now and Texas?
Well, this is training camp, so we're training our habits for the season. So we're doing a lot of different new things. We're training them how to use their day effectively to have peak performance, and so there's a lot of new ways that we're looking at how we go about our business on a daily basis. So really doing that, and we want to use this 2.5 weeks to get them in rhythm for what we need to do this season. So that's the number one thing.
How big are these next couple of weeks in terms of getting used to the radio communications process, especially for the players?
We've been using it. So we used it all spring. We were able to get it used in the spring, and it's great. There's a lot of opportunities with that. We can communicate a lot differently than we always have in the past. And the quarterbacks are doing a nice job with it. But we're also, getting used to the rhythm of playing that way. We've been signaling for years, and it's hard. I still signaling, even though I'm calling it, I'm signaling it. So there's some changes, but the kids are getting used to it.
Do you think that'll be a benefit for you, just less to have to think about?
Yeah, I think it will be a benefit. I think it will, and there's some advantages. We have the same communication system as the NFL, but we're different than the NFL. We play a different style of game in college, and so there's different things we can do that NFL guys really don't take advantage of.
Coach, I don't know if you broke down the huddle before practice, but if I paraphrase, the theme was, we have the team, this is our time. Is there a sense here that year 3 is the year we see this program take the next step?
Yeah, it was Henry Blackburn, and yes, we got a lot of confidence in our team. We were the young team for 2 years. We had a bunch of freshmen out here, a bunch of kids that looked like Doogie Howser, and they're growing up now. Now we have more experience. I think 17 of our 22 starters have over 1,000 snaps, which is a lot of snaps. And so we've got more experience, we're wiser, and we have a better plan.
Day one, just thoughts on what you guys have seen so far?
I told the guys we either get better, we get worse, we never stay the same. Yesterday, I think practice was moving a little fast for some guys, and then today I could say we did get better from yesterday. Now they're just getting a level of comfort, so now they can execute, focus on alignment, assignment, technique. But they got to understand, we practice fast, so even if you don't know where you're going, just start moving fast.
Obviously limited with kind of what you can take away before you get into full pads and full contact and all that, but just looking at this group, like you can see they passed the eye test physically, like this general size and athleticism is just not what it was a couple years ago.
No
How
doubt.
encouraging is that?
I told Coach Norvell yesterday in the hallway when I saw him, I said, Coach, we've been working to build this room for the last 3 years, and it's finally coming to fruition. We've got young guys in the program that are trusting our development, and we've got transfers that are buying into what we're selling, and now I wake up motivated every single day because I'm excited to see what this final product can be.
As a kind of a fun mix of a guy like Tory that's been in your system for forever, some young goody person who are kind of the youngsters step up, the transfers obviously have physical talent. Like, do you like that mix of different?
Yeah, I love it because you got a veteran guy like Tory, Donovan Ollie, right? They have a ton of snaps under the belt. Then you've got guys like last year, like Caleb Goody, got his feet wet. Now he should have an amazing year this year. And then you got some freshmen that we brought in, some transfers. I'm so excited to see what we can do come game one.
Tory, Jay, Jack, Howell, everybody out at Media Days made a point to highlight Jordan Ross and be like, this guy's the real deal. Just what have you seen from him and how's he adjusting?
He's got all the physical attributes that we want in a receiver. Now he's just got to understand how we practice and then just focusing it on assignment because stuff moves fast out there, right? There's shifts, there's motions, there's side adjustments in our routes. So just to be able to process that at the same time, if he can just slow things down, think less and play fast, he'll be a great player for this program.
Have you seen Tory become more of a vocal leader? Because he's always led by example with his habits and stuff like that, but it seems like he's really taken it upon of himself to be the true like guy that keeps everybody in line.
Yeah, I mean, Tory, he knows the offense. He knows everything on how we prepare, how we are in the meeting room, and how we practice every single day. And so he's able to put his arm around some guys and, hey, you're okay. Take a deep breath. Focus on this, focus on that. Everything's going to be okay. I told Tory to talk to the group yesterday. I said, guys, Tory was once a freshman too. He had a first day of fall camp one time in his career. He didn't know where to go at 2 o'clock, right? Don't act like you know everything day one. It's okay to ask questions.
Do you think it connects more when it comes from the players at times? Just because, like the coach-player relationship, it's always going to be different. Sometimes you're getting criticized and it's like, all right, lay off.
Without a doubt. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but those guys are like, right, guys, just listen. This is what we do. We're going to be okay. Take a deep breath. We'll be all right.
Is the message a little bit with your guys' room, kind of challenging, raise the expectation, like you say, as you're, further in the development of the program and the room of like, okay, guys, like, you're not young anymore. It's time to, elevate. Is that sort of, the challenge, I guess, for the group?
Without a doubt. I told our guys yesterday, I said, some guys are going to elevate and some guys are going to go down. We've got more talent than we've had in the past few years. And so those guys that are studying their playbooks, doing their active recovery, those guys that are taking care of business off the field, they're going to elevate in our program. Just because you have talent doesn't mean you can play. You got to do all the little things right, and if you can do that, they'll have success in this program.
You're going to say there's probably some good for you, like that year one, you a lot of ways had to play who was there.
Right.
Now it's like, if you don't do the thing, like we got someone else that'll take it.
It's totally different. And so if a guy has a rough day, I told the guys yesterday, I said, the opportunity you have today might not be there tomorrow. So when you have that opportunity, you got to seize it. Because I can't promise you're going to get those reps tomorrow. So whenever you're in, whether it's 3 snaps, 5 snaps, you got to capitalize on those reps. Because if they're not there tomorrow, so be it.
I know you can't comment on specific individuals or anything like that, but just how are things going on the recruiting trail, and how's this 2025 class coming together?
2025 class is shaping up great. We've got guys from all over the country, from the West Coast to the East Coast, down in the South right now. We've got a few guys too. We're just excited. We're evaluating every single day, staying in contact with these guys. Now we can contact our 26s that went live in the middle of June. So just continue to build relationships, continue to evaluate, and then come September, we'll be back on the road watching high school games on Friday night.
A couple days in, what are your thoughts on the quarterback so far?
Well, first of all, really excited to be back at it. I can't believe season 3 is already here, and this is where our expectation of the offense is elevated. I think we've got some guys that have grown up and they've got a good chance to have a big year. But, probably still a lot of work to do, just seeing the first 2 practices. We're doing a few new concepts in the run game, so we're trying to get down, our checks and how we're going to execute those. But, obviously Brayden's sitting out right now. We're just protecting him a little bit, so we're giving our backups a chance to get some reps, which is really needed.
This is the fullest quarterback room you guys have had, isn't it, too, as far as number of guys with Darius coming in?
Yeah, it's a great group too. I'm happy with where JB is. He's in year 2, and I think he's ready to play if we needed him to. And then Darius is a different kind of talent than what we've had in the room. So it's you got a more athletic guy, and he's shown that he can whip it out there pretty good too. So excited to just keep moving these guys along to the next stage of their careers.
Is it hard as a coach to kind of balance that when you have an individual like Darius who's got a little bit of a different skill set and things you would want to kind of lean into, but also I don't know, I just mean he's got a little bit of different to the table. You want to embrace that, but you also want him to do the offense the way it's intended.
No, I totally agree. I've spent, really the last 2 or 3 months since Darius has been here is really coaching all my guys differently, because they are all unique in different ways. So it's really fun to, like you said, to embrace the abilities that they all have and what they're going to be as a final product. So it's a fun group to coach. I'm really fortunate. Chase Holbrook's doing a really nice job with helping coach these guys, and now we're allowed to have the analysts on the field and they can coach and they can talk to them. So really having 2 of us in their ears with experience is a big deal.
What is it that jumped out to you guys about Darius through the recruitment process? Obviously, very successful at a big program, put up big numbers, but what was it about him that made you guys want to take a chance on him?
The bit, Coach was like, hey, he wanted to see a little more athleticism in our room, and the thing that I was not willing to give up was the accuracy. And so when I saw Darius play, I was like, okay, this kid can whip it out there, and he's highly accurate with it and is a good leader. And so wasn't willing to give up our first things that we look at in a quarterback, right, for the athletic ability. It was just a bonus. And so we were fortunate. We got in the recruiting pull with him early, and so we did a really good job of showing him, why this was the right place for him, and he loved it. His parents are amazing people, and we beat out a few teams on him.
Obviously, like you say, Brayden's a little limited on the field, but what are you seeing, off the field in the room from him, compared to, not to always do the year ago thing, but like his growth?
Yeah, I mean, his attitude has been amazing because, to serve a kid like this, hey, we're going to hold you for the first week of camp, and he's like, are you kidding me? But he's like, came out here, handled it well, pulled for his teammates, was a leader. He's really kind of grown up, and it's fun to sit there and talk about football in a different context, because now we're on to the year 3 stage where he's taking more ownership of what we do, especially in the passing game. And so his arm looks good. I'm not really worried about him as a player as much as getting him to Saturdays.
Yeah, and then I want to ask you about Jackson Warren, guy. You had him at quarterback camp, is that right? Back in the day?
Jackson Warren went to Flower Mound Marcus, which is a school down in the DFW area, and he was a kid that I recruited out of high school as a quarterback. He came to my quarterback school one summer in Nevada, and he was one of those guys that was just, he was kind of, in between, do we offer, do we not offer, and we weren't going to, we were going to preferred walk on him, but he didn't want to pay out of state to go to Nevada, so I helped him get on in North Texas, and I think Seth Luttrell was still there, and so he went there, and then kind of didn't really produce as a quarterback, so he went to Navarro JC. He was out at practice one day, and the coaches were like, you got really big hands. You ever thought about being a tight end? And so the rest was history. I mean, this young man went from, when I was recruiting him as a quarterback, he was 6'5", 181 pounds at the Nevada camp. Now he's 6'7 and a half, maybe pushing 6'8", and he weighs 145, and he runs well, he catches the ball well, he's a beast on the field, but he's a great young man, and it just shows in this business, if you stay in the league, you build these relationships with these young men and their parents, that no matter what, they may end up coming back around to you.
You guys have quarterback kind of history, or I guess maybe mindset studying that he would have done through his younger career help as a tight end?
Oh, without a doubt, because let's be honest. Jax is thinking like a quarterback, right? So he knows and understands grass and space and how to get open, and so that's a big deal. He caught 3 or 4 balls yesterday, and I don't know that he really had that many catches today, but I think as he gets more confident within the system, that he's going to be tough to stop.
You guys obviously had a really productive tight end last year in Dallin Holker, but I got to imagine there are things that he can bring to the table physically that kind of open up this offense in a different way. Maybe like Cole Turner did, just kind of throw it up and let him go get it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yesterday in practice, he had one of those perfectly in Skelly, and Brayden did a nice job of just putting the ball in the area, and he turned his back to it and caught it, and so it's kind of like I'm watching it, and I'm seeing him up in there, and I'm like, that's Cole Turner, that's what it should look like, so. And the thing is he's got 3 years left. He's different than what Dallin was. Dallin was a great player, but very aged and experienced, where Jackson is just learning how to become a tight end. So I think he's got a great opportunity in front of him.
Does it feel more like Nevada with just the way that you guys have the size and athleticism at the pass catching?
Yeah, Coach Savage has done a tremendous job with our receiving group. We are way more, have more depth in every spot at the receiver spot. Obviously, we talked about our tight ends. This is where you got to put it all together, because you've got such an arsenal of guys and talent and different, of course we can sit here and talk forever about Tory, but, Armani Winfield, a transfer from Baylor, showed a good, had a touchdown today. So it was good to see the ball get spread around to some other of these young guys.
Just going back to Brayden real quick, obviously it's been well documented, kind of the offers he got from other schools around the country. Does that kind of earn some respect in the room? Have you seen that where guys are just really respecting him now that he's decided to come back and has shown the loyalty to this program?
Yeah, totally. Him and Tory are both guys that got flirted with, and for them to stay humble and stay true and stay in, again, the relationship process, true to Coach Norvell, true to us. That's such a great testament to those 2 young men and who they are. And not only that, like you said, to show it to the rest of our team, like, guys, you don't have to jump on the other side of the railroad track, to be successful. And so, I'm looking forward to the things that Tory and Brayden are going to do this year.